I just took Cialis, but she on the Molly. Hey, hey, do you wanna boot up? Do you wanna party? Hey, hey, Molly's in the Sony, baby, let's get gnarly. Hey, hey.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Utility Creative Space. I'm Terry, your host, and you're watching the Caveman podcast.
Let's get gnarly.
Let's say that cool. You're watching Caveman podcast. Drum roll. Okay, I had to let my neck breathe there for a while. I mean, like, I'm not caught up with that whole button to the last. Anyways, okay. So a lot of times rappers out there always talking about being the GOAT, who's the GOAT, who's the greatest of all time, who's out rap this one, who is this and that. I mean, like, it's very cool stuff in hip hop, and it has been there for ages. Like, it has been there for ages, understand? I mean, like, if you look at the real hip hop scene in the USA, like, you see a whole lot of people, a whole lot of contenders, you know, people talking Eminem, Jadakiss, Biggie, Pac, and all of that. But when you bring it down here, like, nobody really has a discussion, like, who's the greatest of all time in Nigeria. Nobody talks about who's the greatest of all time rapper in Nigeria. And most times when you try to bring it up, people are always quick to give it to, you know, MI, Vector, probably one of all those. I wouldn't call them new generation because they're no longer the new generation. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of new MCs out there, but people usually give it to MI straight up. In my opinion, well, I'll say MI is a contender, though. I'll say MI is a contender. I won't be quick to just give him the greatest rapper of all times in Nigeria. You understand? So, this greatest of all rappers stuff, people just feel like, I mean, every rapper normally, I feel every rapper has the right to think, okay, yeah, I'm greater than this. I feel way above my peers and stuff. You guys don't give me the accolades I deserve, and these I rap harder than that nigga. This nigga's album didn't outsell mine. This nigga hasn't been here as long as I've been. All of that stuff is allowed. Hip hop is a very competitive sport, so like all that shit is allowed, okay? But I feel like there's certain, you know, criteria you have to meet before you can be considered to be the GOAT. If I were to pick like my top 5 GOAT contenders, it'll probably be Jadakiss, Jay-Z, Nas, Pusha T, and Kendrick Lamar. Like Biggie and Pac are not in my greatest of all time, and that's like a whole different video for another day. So like I feel for you to be considered to be the greatest rapper of all time, there's certain criteria you have to like meet. Not necessarily all though, because believe me, if there was one rapper throughout the history of rap music that has met all these criteria, then he's definitely no doubt going to be the GOAT. But there's no rapper, and I repeat myself, like there's no rapper in the history of rap from now till when it started far back in the late 70s. I mean, like, there's no rapper that has fulfilled all of these criteria. Now, most of these rappers I mentioned in the top 5 actually have, you know, 1 or 2 requirements you get, but they don't have all of them. I believe like longevity is a very, you know, longevity has to be there. You have to sell records. Your lyrical dexterity, prowess has to be like 99.9. Okay, what I said I say you have to have longevity, you have to sell records, you have to have lyrical dexterity, you should have style, and 5, like, you should be able to, you know, make something big out of the music. Like, outside the music, you ought to have clout, kind of, like how Jay-Z is right now. So when we talk about greatest rappers in Nigeria, most times people don't even consider Eedris Abdulkareem. I mean, that guy said some shit, like he raised the bar to some extent, okay? Like, we're going to get real deep into it, so like you guys just sit back.
Now we're going straight up to another video. Everybody be like, damn, this video's the bomb.
Arguably the first rapper to like go on tour in the US. The Rothman's tour was for the Eddie Remedies, but Idris also had shows out in UK a bunch of times when he was like a flagship artist of Kenny's music, when he was popping. Okay, so right now the only way rap music sells in Nigeria is if you try to indigenize it. Like, if you try to be indigenous, like, you know, the way Olamide raps in Yoruba, Reminisce in Yoruba, Fino, Igbo, all of that. Like, people are just trying to drag the whole tribal stuff into the hip hop. Cool, it's fine for you to like reflect the culture in your own environment, like just how you grew up and all that. Make the culture your own. Fine, no one's saying you should rap like Young Thug or any of all those MCs back in America, but I feel Idris was like one of the pioneers of that stuff, because if you check out his records, he used to rap in he used to mix Yoruba, with his fake stupid US accent he tried so hard to keep up with, and also pidgin. So I feel like he was part of the people that indigenized the whole hip hop stuff. I mean, like rapping in Yoruba, that's what every Yoruba artist used to. Every Western rapper uses to come out to gain clout. You can't show me any Western rapper that is rapping in English and is real hard right now. Most of them are Yoruba guys. You see it from this Picasso guy, a bunch of other guys in the YBNL crew and all of that. But actually, if you really check, it was Eedris that first started that wave. So he was the first wave of indigenizing rap lyrics in Nigeria. That is facts. No one can dispute that shit. If there's another person, hit me up in the comment and let me know about it. But so far, I've looked the internet. I've followed Eedris all my life since I was a little kid. I don't listen to him anymore though, bro. I did my research and I didn't see any artists spitting bars in Yoruba. So he added pidgin to it. Yeah, cool. There are a bunch of other folks that are adding pidgin to their rap music, like 6 Foot Plus and the SWAT Root, like Real Clean, the guy that sang "He Don't Do Me," oh lie. You know, like there are a bunch of other folks adding, like trying to like make it the street language, you know, pidgin English in Nigeria. But like Eedris was one of the notable ones out there because like he was a mainstream hip hop artist back then. So yeah, I gave him the top props. Like he's one that probably popularized going outside of Nigeria to have tours as a rapper for that matter. He tried to indigenize Nigerian hip hop rap. One more did he do? Yeah, like bunch of. I think he brought that. You know, that's a different kind of way to like kick the flow. Like to just, you check other rappers back in the 90s in Nigerian hip hop scene. This Touchlight guy, Zakiazi and stuff. Their rhymes were monosyllabic, but like Eedris, fine. He wasn't saying all that. Like his bars were not super crazy. Like there's no Eedris bar I've had like back in the day that just blew me off.
Do you have to leave your home for now the home? No. Do you have to leave your coat for now the coat? Do you have to leave your coast for now the coast? East coast, west coast, south coast, here we go. I'm telling you, you've been telling me ever since you've been out to me. When you travel to America, this is Africa. Where your father are, where your sister are, where your children are, where your mother at, where your do you like it now? Do you like it now?
That blew my dome off. Like everything was just basic, but his flow pattern was actually nice, even though he wasn't really saying that much or making enough sense. But like his flow pattern was quite nice for that period. You know, like a bunch of songs like "Please Come Back Home." You know, that was a very good joint for me. I felt like the girl that took the chorus was super talented. I don't know who she is. I've looked everywhere. I couldn't find her name, but that was some like Lauryn Hill type shit to me. And that chorus was super.
Come back.
When you talk about style, Eedris has that too. You know what I'm saying? Like he popularized, you know, hanging a towel over your neck. Like when you hung a towel over your neck at that period, people would say like, "Are you Eedris Abdulkareem?" All of that. Everybody knew him for his white towel and just hanging towel over his neck. Like that was like so many rappers are known with different, you know, graphic images and like styles and stuff. You know, back then in the early 2000s when Nelly was popping, you know, everybody knew Nelly with that, you know, tape to his face kind of stuff. Everybody knows Lil Jon for his big chains, having the crunk stuff, and him screaming, yeah, on people's tracks and all of that. Like different artists are known for different styles and stuff. Diddy's always putting like this toothpick or mouth pick or wherever in his mouth, or matches, wherever it is. He always has some stuff in his mouth. So like everybody has their own style, but like back then in Nigerian music scene, like there are not too many rappers that were known for certain styles. You get like Swatry guys were popping, Tribesman and all of that, but none of those folks really had like a distinct style that like if you see someone style that kind of be like, hey, it reminds me of this guy, it reminds me of that guy, this guy's video and stuff. So Eedris probably brought that stuff to the table, you know, like making sure your graphic image is on flick and all of that. So I give him that credit too. That's one thing he did. Right now there's a bunch of other rappers too that like is trying to be known for stuff, but these days that shit has gone down because every artist in the game looked the same, right from the US to Nigeria. I mean, you get what I'm saying. The cool shit is to be on dyed colored dreads and be slim as fuck with tattoos and stuff, and like just have weird tattoos in fucked up places like your face and all of that. So yeah, I give Eedris that one. He probably, he came with his style, he came with his strong, and like that was some good shit. About selling records though, there's this interview I saw online when I was, checking out about Eedris Abdulkareem, and he was talking with this girl on Hip TV about his beef with 50 Cent back in the day, the plain stuff, a bunch. I bet you guys know about that stuff. So like he said something like he was introducing himself to 50 Cent. He's like 50's crew was like, who are you? And it's like, I'm Eedris Abdulkareem, number one rapper in Nigeria. I sold over 4.6 million records in a pirated country. You get what I'm saying? That's what he claims. I don't know, like these figures are not, like I told you, rap in Nigeria was hardly documented until the mid 2000s. But can I verify these figures? No, I checked everywhere. I couldn't verify those figures. But Idris claims he sold 4.6 records, as at that time he had a 50 Cent beef. So is that a very big number? Well, if we're to use the facts that he gave us, that's a very large number. I mean, for a country like this, you guys know how it is now, like CDs and stuff. How does, until recently when Alaba just upped their game, like pirating of CD was it's still a problem right now. It's why most of all these artists, they don't have royalties and all of that. Like they just go broke once, they're no longer in the limelight and all of that. So yeah, 4.6 records is a whole lot of records to sell. So yeah, did Idris do record numbers? Definitely yes. 4.6 records. I mean, there's some artists that haven't sold 4.6 records in the US. Popping artists right now, they haven't sold 4.6 records in the US. So I mean, that's a very good number. And of course, as competitive as hip hop is as a sport, you can't grade an MC to be a contender of the greatest rappers of all time if he hasn't been in a very strong, lyrical beef with someone else. You know what I'm saying? I feel Idris was part of the first rappers to get into a lyrical battle with a bunch of folks, even though he never really got like a reply or response from most of these guys who was out there dissing. But he was like one of the people to actually popularize a diss record. You know what I'm talking about? The Waka Wiki MCs, like the rhymes in that song is seriously lame. I wouldn't lie. The rhyme in the song is seriously lame. Like there's a bunch of stuff to say. Cane in my hand, I flog you, this, that. Just remember, Two Faces the plantation, and you guys are the boys. That's some funny stuff. But it's still a diss record, no doubt. And it's one of the like pioneer diss records in Nigeria. So like I give it to Idris. He helped to shape the culture into what it is. I don't think there was actually any notable response to this record, but I mean, like Idris was a controversial human being. Like he was just down for whatever, he was down to fight. And it's quite questionable though, like when he took a shot at the then president Olusegun Obasanjo, saying Nigeria jaga jaga. Like he wasn't really aiming at Obasanjo per se, but he was saying, look what your government is doing, it's making the country to be this. And that was a serious jab to the president. For the president to react the way he did and try to like just make Idris' career to like come to an end abruptly, then I feel like you need to give him some credit for that. That's real balls, man. I mean, like he really stood for something. Get what I'm saying? Like he was one of the most politically conscious rappers back then. So apart from making records to make you vibe and dance, like he was still this kind of MC that had a whole lot of stuff to say. You know what I'm saying? Like we all heard the Mr. Lecturer joint where he was being socially conscious about what's happening in Nigerian universities at that time, and it's still happening right now, just that these days is a bit controlled. Lecturers wanting to sleep with female ladies and stuff and extorting kids just so they can pass their courses and stuff, popularly in the federal universities. I'm from a private university, so I know like this stuff still happens in private universities, even though it's not as popularized as the public schools. But I mean, that was like I feel Idris helped to pioneer a whole lot of stuff. I just mentioned some styles now. I mentioned the beef stuff. I mentioned the graphic imaging, selling out that much records, going on tour. He was probably one of the first or pioneering socially conscious rappers from Mr. Lecturer joined to saying Nigeria Jaka Jaka, taking a picture of the president. I mean, in the American music industry, rap music industry, not too many rappers have done that, except from Slim Shady and a bunch of other folks who had liver. I like it takes a whole lot for you to like throw shit at the president. Like that's it takes balls, man, because he has so much power to like just tarnish your career. And at that point, people didn't really stand behind their role models and stuff. So there was no social media to like get back. You guys have to give Eedris credit for what he did. I mean, not too many rappers are doing that today. Fouls is the notable person that's really pioneering that stuff right now. So I feel Eedris passed the baton to Fouls. Like Eedris was the first person to ever do that shit. Stand on his ground and say, "Look, you guys are ruining the country wrongly. I don't like what you're doing. Look what you made the country be like. It's Jaga Jaga, this, that, Mr. Lecturer." So you guys need to put Eedris in this greatest of all time. In as much as certain rappers qualify, to be among the greatest of all time contenders and being the debate and all of that, there's certain qualities that they may have passed that could get them up into that debate, you know what I'm saying? But there's certain things that might have happened in their careers also that makes you want to pull them out. Be like, nah, this guy is probably not the greatest of all times. Take a look at Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z is one of the hardest MCs to ever do it in rap music, no doubt. I mean, I'm not a very big fan of Jay-Z, but I know like he's lyrically up there, style wise, selling records, all of that. He's a rich man, he's a businessman. But Jay-Z lost the rap battle to Nas. Like that just pulls him out of the race. Take a look at Nas. I mean, Nas is lyrically doesn't really have that much hit records. He has a classic album. He beat Jay-Z in the rap battle. There's always one thing that's going to pull these rappers out of that greatest of all time race. You get what I'm saying? So the same thing as Eedris Abdulkareem. He wasn't lyrically up there. You get what I'm saying? Like he was just spitting a bunch of words that rhymes, but like he wasn't really thought provoking. You know what I'm saying? Like all the rappers in Swatch Roots could out-rhyme Eedris Abdulkareem and run circles around his rap oracles. Literally, you know what I'm saying? So Eedris Abdulkareem wasn't all that lyrical and all of that. Secondly, I felt his A&R game at the Kenny's Music was poor. Like Keke and D1 did a shitty job with their A&R stuff as regards to Eedris Abdulkareem. So that's one of the downsides. And his longevity, he didn't really have a very long career from like early 2000s. Nobody was talking about Eedris Abdulkareem in 2005. Like he was dead. He was dead. But other rappers had sprung up and people didn't really care much about Eedris Abdulkareem. You know what I'm saying? And also OBJ Blue too was quite heavy. So like everything just messed the whole career up. Well, does that stop him from being a contender or being considered to be the greatest rapper of all time in Nigeria? Absolutely not. Eedris Abdulkareem is a very strong, worthy contender. For Christ's sake, this guy is an Olympic torch bearer. Not too many rappers these days can hold the torch. I mean, they've probably done cooler stuffs in this their modern era, like Ice Prince hitting about 18 million streams on Spotify. But I mean, Eedris has probably done a bunch of stuff that Ice Prince will never ever do in his fucking entire career. So you guys need to give Eedris more credit. I mean, like, times have passed, there are new people popping up, but at the same time, the game is to be told. As opposed to what Snoop Dogg said, games to be sold. The games to be sold and to be told. You get, so like you can't just forget these guys that actually put in work for these guys to, make money off this music industry right now. So yeah, that's what it is. Eedris Abdulkareem, big up to the boss, Eedris Abdulkareem. Yeah. And that's what it is. The Caveman podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. You can leave your comments in the section below. Let me know what you think about Eedris Abdulkareem's Caveman podcast. This is the first episode. So come on, ring the bells, ring the bells, ring the bells. Yeah, for more interesting videos like this, subscribe to my channel at Atelier Creative. You're gonna see more videos like this. Subscribe. Let's push this shit forward. I'm all about that vibe. Like I vibe with you if you vibe on my brand. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's just help each other grow. No hate. It's all love. It's all about hip hop, R&B, pop culture and all of that. Movie reviews. The Caveman podcast. My host Terry. Thanks for watching. I see you guys later. Peace, y'all.